Once there was a young woman named Emma who felt overwhelmed by the stresses and pressures of life. Emma was overwhelmed by the constant negativity, the draining conversations, and the endless comparisons that she had to deal with every single day. Despite her ambitions, she found herself disconnected from her purpose and the joy in life. One day, she met an elderly woman named Meryl in the park. Meryl seemed calm, seemed peaceful, and seemed like everything was going right in her life. Emma sat there and thought, man, this lady seems such at peace. I'm gonna go over there and talk to her. So Emma goes over to Meryl and she strikes up a conversation. And in the conversation, she mentions to Meryl that she's looking and longing for the type of peace that Meryl has. In the midst of listing out her frustrations, she finally gets to the question. And she asks Meryl, how are you so calm? How are you so peaceful? Meryl smiled gently and said, the only reason I am calm and peaceful is because I am forever mindful of the three gates. Emma said, what's the three gates? What are you talking about? Meryl explained that each of us have three gates: the gate of the mind, the gate of the heart, and the gate of the spirit. You are the gatekeeper, and what you allow through those gates will shape your well-being for better or for worse. Meryl continued that the gate of the mind guards your thoughts. If you allow too much negativity or fear in it, it will take root in your mind and hold you back. She tells Emma, you must be intentional about what you focus on every day. Every day, I challenge myself to feed my mind with empowering and positive thoughts. Meryl said, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm starting to ramble. I'll shut up now. Emma replied, no, Meryl. You ain't just about to drop one gem and bounce. What else do you have to share? Meryl says, well, then you have the gate of the heart. The gate of the heart protects your emotions. With this, the challenge is to be mindful of who and what you allow to influence your feelings. To be a gatekeeper of the heart, you have to surround yourself with people who uplift you and then set boundaries for those that drain you. And last but not least, Meryl said, there's the gate of the spirit. This gate protects your sense of purpose and peace. The challenge here is to not let the chaos of life disconnect you from what truly matters. Take time to nourish your spirit through reflection, faith, and whatever it is that brings you peace. As Meryl finished talking about the three gates, she noticed that Emma was starting to hold her head in shame. Meryl said, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. I was just trying to express how I am peaceful. And Emma's response was, no. It was nothing that you said. I just realized that I have been leaving my gates wide open my entire life. From that day on, Emma became intentional. She began to guard her thoughts, to protect her emotions, and to nourish her spirit. And as she did, she found the peace and the strength that she had been looking for all her life. The message I have for you today is simple. To live a life of peace and resilience, you must protect your mind, your heart, and your spirit. While being intentional about what you allow to influence you, you will find the strength you need to thrive in life. In a world full of distractions, in this world full of negativity, in this world full of constant noise, it's very easy for us to forget that we are the gatekeepers of our inner world. What we allow in, what we focus on, that which we internalize has the power to shape our lives. Imagine for a moment that your mind, your heart, and your spirit are a beautiful, well-kept garden. What happens if you allow any and everything into your garden without taking the proper measures to ensure that it's protected? In a garden unkept, the weeds begin to grow, pests start to destroy what was once vibrant, and over time, the garden that was once full of life and potential has now become overrun by chaos. The same is true for your well-being. If you aren't careful about what you allow in your space, negative thoughts, harmful influences, toxic people, your mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being will start to wither. It's time to protect our garden. It's time to get the weeds out. And we get the weeds out by being keenly aware of the power of influence. Everything we let into our lives influences us, either lifting us up or dragging us down. And when I say everything, I mean everything. From the media we consume, to the conversations we engage in, to the very people we surround ourselves with. Each of these has the power to plant little seeds into our lives. Some of these seeds blossom into positive, empowering beliefs that help us grow, while others take root in our lives as doubt, insecurity, or fear, ultimately limiting our potential. This is why we have to actively curate our surroundings, our thoughts, and our relationships, because they shape who we are. It's easy to overlook just how much we absorb from our environments. We might think a casual negative conversation won't have much effect, or that constantly exposing ourselves to an endless cycle of bad news at the end of the day won't really matter. But these things stack up in life. As we go through life, we must become more conscious of the content we are allowing to influence us, be it through our devices, be it through people that we're around, or the spaces that we occupy. I want you to take a moment and consider this question. What do you allow to dominate your attention? What voices are you listening to? With that, let's start with guarding the mind. Your mind is the foundation of everything. It is the control center for how you perceive the world and how you respond to challenge. The thoughts we entertain and the beliefs that we cultivate shape our reality. What you think about on a daily basis determines your outlook on life, it determines your confidence, and it determines your ability to push through tough times. Think about this. If you constantly expose yourself to negative thoughts, whether from your own self-doubt or from others' criticisms or from the media you consume, those thoughts will begin to dominate your mindset. And over time, those thoughts become a part of your belief system. Those thoughts become a part of how you approach challenges, how you approach relationships, and even how you approach your own self-worth. I've said it before, but a thought that is repeated and left unchecked becomes a mindset every single time. Whatever you continually think about, you bring about in your life. That is why it's important to protect what enters your mind. Be intentional about feeding your brain with knowledge that empowers and inspires you. Challenge each negative thought as it arrives and replace it with a stronger, more empowering thought. Think of it like this. If you were building your dream home, and I'm talking about the dream home, not one that you just accept, but the one that you have always dreamt of. If you were building that home, you wouldn't use poor quality materials. You would carefully select the best, from the paint colors to the doorknobs. You would take time to intentionally thoughtfully, carefully select the items that were going to make up the house that you lived in every day. You would make sure that your foundation was strong and durable. Your mind is no different. What you allow into it shapes every detail of your life. Guard it as you would anything that you consider precious, because guarding the mind is the key to growth and success. Now, let's talk about your heart, your emotional well-being. Emotions fuel our everyday lives. They give color and meaning to our experiences, and they shape how we interact with the world around us. But emotions can also weigh us down, especially when we allow negativity to take root around an emotion. Emotions like resentment, anger, bitterness can poison our spirit if we don't address them. The danger here is if we fail to protect our hearts, these emotions become chronic, constantly shaping how we view ourselves, how we view others, and how we view life in general. Before long, we carry emotional baggage like we talked about last week, and emotional baggage has the ability to make even the smallest challenge seem overwhelming. One of the most important things you can do to protect your emotional well-being is to set boundaries. Boundaries for yourself and boundaries for other people. This means not letting people or situations that drain too much of your energy have too much influence over you. It means recognizing when certain relationships or environments are straight out toxic and making the decision to distance yourself from them. But it's not just about cutting out the negative. It's also about feeling the vacancy. It's about filling your emotional space with love, joy, and gratitude. Surround yourself with people who nourish your spirit, who support your growth, and who encourage you, inspire you to be the best version of yourself. Be mindful of the emotional energy that you allow into your space. Emotional energy is extremely powerful. I want you to remember, you are responsible for the emotional tone of your life. You get to decide what fuels your heart, whether it's the positive, uplifting emotions that propel you forward or the negative, draining ones that hold you back. Guarding your heart means staying emotionally aware and choosing to let love, peace, and gratitude be your guiding forces. Finally, let's focus on guarding the spirit. This is perhaps the most personal and profound area of your well-being. Your spirit is at the core of who you are. It's where your purpose lives. It's where your deepest sense of meaning comes from. It's what drives you to keep going when life gets hard. The spirit can often be neglected, especially when you and I are caught up in the rat race and the day-to-day grind of life. But it's crucial to take time to nourish your spirit, because the spirit is what gives you the strength to persevere. Without a healthy, vibrant spirit, even the smallest challenges of your life seem insurmountable. We've all met people with a broken spirit and felt that energy of defeat radiating off of them. Maybe you've experienced that feeling yourself. And if you haven't, eventually you will, because life be lifing. This is the importance of protecting your spiritual well-being. To protect your spiritual well-being, you need to connect with practices that bring you purpose and peace, whether that's meditation, prayer, nature, or simply finding times for reflection. Protecting your spirit is all about making a priority of the things that ground you. Just as you must guard your mind and your heart, you must be careful about what influences your spirit. Don't let the negativity of others or the chaos of the world disrupt your inner peace. Cultivate resilience by staying true to what uplifts you and what inspires you. Protecting your spirit means making space for what matters most. Your purpose, your joy, and ultimately your connection to something that's even greater than yourself. Now, we can't talk about guarding your mind, guarding your heart and your spirit without talking about resilience. We all know life will throw challenges our way. Mother Teresa once said, "I know God won't give me more than I can handle. I just wish he didn't trust me so much." If you're breathing, there will be moments of hardship. There will be moments that feel like a setback. There will be moments of disappointment. But how we respond to these challenges, how we persevere, ultimately depends on the strength of our mental, our emotional, and our spiritual health. If you're listening to me and life is hard right now, and every day you feel like you're being kicked in the seat of a pants, I want to offer you this shift in perspective. Every kick is a boost. If you don't give up, even though that kick is painful, even though that kick doesn't feel good, every kick can be a boost in the right direction. Protecting your well-being isn't about avoiding life's difficulties. It's about building the strength and the resilience to navigate them. When you guard your mind, you create a mindset that can face adversity and see opportunity in obstacles. When you guard your heart, you allow yourself to feel deeply without being consumed with pain. And when you guard your spirit, you remain connected to your purpose, giving you the energy to keep going when life seems uncertain. Resilience isn't built by chance. It's cultivated by intention. It's a daily practice of choosing what you allow in your life. It's making decisions that protect your peace and protect your inner world, even when it's easier to just let the noise in. So I leave you with this. Be intentional. Guard the gates of your mind, your heart, and your spirit, all the while knowing that you have the power. You have the power to choose what influences you, what you focus on, and what you allow in your life. Be rooted in whatever it is that strengthens you. Cultivate a mindset of positivity, an emotional life full of gratitude and love, and a spirit that is unshakable. Because when you protect your inner world, you become unstoppable to the outer world. Always remember that growth is a journey. It's not a destination. I'm in it with you, and I'll catch you on the next one.